Okay, so now I'm going to be working on painting the Mailes Kenbu, sorry, 1/72 scale. And I just finished priming all the parts that make up the kit. And now I'm going to start painting it white. Now, two things. I decided not to use cool white. I think I may have mentioned it in the previous video. Instead, I'm going to be using M001 Pure White from Modo. Another thing is you're going to be hearing my compressor turning on and off as I'm spraying. And that is because I'm having some difficulties with the actual regulator. There's pressure, air pressure coming from the compressor to the regulator, but when coming out of the regulator, nothing's coming out. There's very little pressure. I'm opening and closing the valves. And granted, this is a very old regulator. I think it's time for me to replace the regulator. I'll have to look into that. So at this moment, what I did was I connected the hose from the airbrush to the compressor itself directly. So it's going to be on a high pressure, but at least I can use it. I just need to control it. First thing, let's begin with this one. Let me just magnify here. To control it a bit, make sure I don't oversaturate it, but it did come out right. My Iowa spray booth I've had for a long time. It still has some life into it. I don't want to get rid of it. And if it's the regulator, I can fix it. It's no big deal. I just have to purchase one. I'm not in the mood of buying another compressor yet. This cost me a good $300 at the time when I purchased it, and I don't feel like buying another one. Not yet. Granted, I heard that there are nice big compressors, excuse me, that are nice to use. This one came out pretty good. But I am not going to purchase another one yet at this time. The one thing about white paint is you got to be very careful not to oversaturate it. Make sure you get all coverages. I will review it again later on. I'm also going to be painting the red parts white because to brighten it up when I paint the red on this. Yeah, that's good. And that same holds true. I thought I pulled one out here, but I guess not. To the yellow part. I'll just do this red one now. Part of the head. Alright, so let me continue on painting all this white, but then once everything is done, I can then start masking it off so I can paint the other color. So let me take care of that, alright? Alright, so now that all the parts have been painted white, I'm going to begin masking them off because certain areas needs to be painted red, charcoal, and yellow. I think for starters we're going to start with this guy first. I'm just going to cut specific strips that will allow me to act as guides. Put him here. since I put the custom thrusters there, that it will be painted too, but I want to get the yellow taken care of first. This is, of course, where the fun begins. And of course, it is the most tedious part of the work, just so you can get certain parts painted properly. I was not going to take this thing apart just to paint one part yellow, but then again, one would argue I should have painted it yellow first, then put it on it, then mask it off, and then do the rest. Right? That'd be a lot easier. Here, put him there. Alright. This will allow me to paint this whole thing yellow. I'm going to cover up the rest in a few moments. For this part, which is the red notch, I'm going to put that one there. This is going to, not too much masking tapes for this, but at least, you know, we get the point here. There we go. Here. Yeah, that's fine. Just make sure it's nice. Okay, we know that this is a charcoal part here. Now, I put a photo etch part there. I'm looking for my stencil sheet where I can actually make a circle and then wrap it around this, so that way I can paint the inside and this part as well. I'll take care of that in a moment, but let me do this one first. I could probably cut, like put the sheet over it and then using the actual knife to cut around it to get the detail out of it. So the stencil may not be required, but let me see what I can do. This one, I'm going to have to do it this way. By the way, has anyone been watching the series lately? I haven't caught up with it yet. I'll probably catch up with it during this Thanksgiving weekend, which I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving. Here we go. No, I'll spray it on. I'll take care of the moment. Something like this. So I'm actually going to put a... Yeah, I think I'll use a marker. I'm not going to waste tape for this. Let's get this taken care of. Let's try the idea that I just mentioned right now. I know there's a detail there, and I gotta cover this whole thing up so I can paint that area. But let's try that idea that I just mentioned. Put it over like that. Instead of using the knife, we're going to use a toothpick to do this. And then slowly but carefully carve around it. Luckily I put a new blade on this. Oh, be careful. Be careful. Oh, there we go. On my first try. Usually on my second or third try I have to do it again with a new masking tape. But that's fine. That's good. Alright. So let me continue masking off the areas that I'm going to paint off. There's a lot here. The legs and the arms. Chest area, I don't think so. Head, no, not really. Just usually the extremities, you could say. And then we're going to paint the next colors on this. So let me continue working on that, okay? Okay, we're about to paint the yellow parts, starting with M005 Pure Yellow by Modo. I'm going to do the small parts first, which is probably the easiest. And let me zoom in. There we go. And again, like I said before, I had to remove the regulator. I had to connect the airbrush directly to the compressor, so I don't have the filter or the regulator on this, because it's not working right. That's pretty good. This part here. It's a good yellow though. Nice. Now, I'm going to do the ears in a minute, but I want to do this first. Good. Getting a nice reflectiveness. There we go. Good. Real nice. Now, as I was reviewing the parts, saying, okay, that's all the yellow, I didn't realize that the tip here is also yellow as well. And I just realized something. I may end up painting this one yellow. I was actually thinking that that part of the trim that I prepared was going to be also charcoal as well as the tip, but I didn't foresaw that. Hang on a second. I'm just getting 2 masking tapes so I can cover this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint him yellow all around, but this, and I was going to do charcoal for this, so I'm going to cover everything up to here. There we go. Now we spray and pray. Good. That's really good. Alright, so now we're going to continue on with the remaining parts. There's only 4 more, and then we'll move on to the next color.